Today we are playing another 4-player fixed card game with my subscribers. The white player is a promising expert called Julez who is hoping to yet win his first subscriber game. The yellow player is a promising and very smart expert ranked player too called Dark Wolf, who has already won a subscriber game before but is hoping to increase her number of wins. And the blue player is a top grandmaster called Sullivan Pope 34 but is better known as Tank, who has already won multiple subscriber games before and who is very good at multiple different risk settings. So it looks like a tough lobby, but I will try my best to win. So as you can see, I've got the most promising position on the map by capturing South America and having a decent amount of troops to properly guard it, and I think my next plan is to expand to North America. Then the white player is going for Europe, and it looked like the blue and yellow players were about to fight for Australia, but then the yellow player has moved out from it, and it looks like they might be good now. I think it would be the most beneficial for me to have the strongest alliance with the white player now. I want to expand to North America, so then he could take over Europe and Africa, and with that we would trap the blue and yellow players in Australia and Asia, getting big amount of troops for ourselves every turn. So I'm just not sure if the white player went for it. He sent me the alliance request, but with the yellow player moving out to Africa, I think it might be too late for that plan to work out. Or unless maybe if I showed the initiative to team up on yellow. But I think the yellow player will be a passive player using the African turtle strategy, so this way she would be guaranteed to at least hold something having the most vulnerable continent. So I think maybe my best plan is just to go for North America and then encourage the white player to team up with me on someone, most likely blue since he will be quite isolated in Australia. But I think firstly I will try to get a strong position, otherwise it could be very risky to start attacking someone. And alright, looks like the blue player saw the upcoming threat and is betraying me. So let's actually encourage white to attack blue, so then we could get rid of the blue player as the fourth player. The white player is unwilling to help me out, but maybe that's because he firstly wants to see some initiative coming from me, especially when I hold both of the Americas, so I decided to do some manual rolls on the blue player since he is now blocking my way, and with that let's encourage the yellow player to attack blue. She could definitely take Australia from him if she wants to. But I see how it is. The yellow player is not a friend of mine either. So my last hope is actually white. Since he was passive last turn, I doubt he will help me, but let's see. Maybe he will be my last hope. And if only he knew that the blue player was suggesting me to attack him in the beginning of the game, but since he doesn't, I think he would rather see me go on over the blue player, since blue just has Australia while I intended to hold both of the Americas. The blue player made a risky move by breaking through me but actually getting good manual rolls and blitz roll, and since nobody wants to attack blue since he probably showed the biggest initiative to team up on the most threatening player, I think this position is losing for me. So I think my best strategy is just to become passive, and I couldn't get any cards anyway since I'm trapped, though what I could do is to either manual roll blue or yellow, but that would just make the dirty work for my opponents and I would be eliminated even sooner. So if they won't be desperate to get rid of me immediately, then maybe it will let me make a comeback. A very good thing is that the white player is blocked from me, so he is prevented from wasting troops on me, and since he is the player with the biggest continents, he will grow the most, so then maybe the blue and yellow player will leave me alone starting to focus on white. But I think that's a low chance, and most likely I will be eliminated. Or maybe would have been if the yellow player wouldn't have suddenly left the game. But I will lose anyway, since the white player has more troops than me and the blue player combined. So he could really easily win if he thinks that the yellow player doesn't get back to the game. But as you can see, the white player disconnected himself. But differently than yellow, the white player told us that he will be away for some time, so we know that he will come back. While I would guess that the yellow player had to go, so she shouldn't get back. That was close of the yellow bot crushing my army, but I figured out that I will rather get crushed by a bot and start a new game than rather play with two bots. Anyway, so as you can see, the blue player re-offered the alliance and I accepted it, letting him hold North America, so he could crush the white player, so when the white player comes back to the game, he wouldn't have more troops than me and the blue player combined. So as you can see, the white player has just come back to the game and now we should continue having a proper 3-player game with one bot. I'm the weakest player being at the threat of the bot, so I don't really want to attack anyone too much, and at the same time, even though the white player is strong, he isn't overpowered, so I think I might be more on a neutral side now. I will continue being this way. I mean, if the white and blue players crush more troops on each other and then the yellow bot weakens the white player by crushing one of his armies, but with the bot still having some troops on my border, then I think the bot might really work out as a shield, while I could capture North America focusing on protecting the Alaska border more, so I might even win the game if it goes this way. But obviously I don't want to become obvious, so I cannot start doing anything now other than just capturing one North American territory per turn and at the same time help my opponents weakening the bot so they would know that I'm on the same page as them. I do not want to start executing my plan way too early, as then my opponents will be able to easily counterattack it, and firstly of course the yellow player's army must have become much smaller, so as it is now. As otherwise if I had left too fewer troops on the bot's border after capturing both of the Americas, the bot would have just simply able to invade me. I think that would be the great opportunity to go for North America right now with trading in a set. But not sure, maybe I will wait for some more. I assume my opponents will finish crushing the bot and then it will be the time to strike. Though that's probably a misplay as I let my opponents get those continental troop bonuses while being with only South America myself. Though I think maybe, after all, after I failed holding both of the Americas for the first time, when I tried being very greedy myself rather than do something in a mutually beneficial way, I think maybe now intending to go for it for the second time, I will try to rather be mutually beneficial to someone, or at least appear this way. So instead of capturing North America now, I want that the yellow bot would be eliminated. So then the white player would additionally take over Africa, so then we would be able to trap the blue player in Asia, getting those big troop bonuses ourselves. The blue player finishes taking the yellow player out, capturing all of those territories, so with him now appearing stronger than he is, I sent that open mouth emoji expressing the surprise, potentially indicating a threat in the blue player. So then I sent an attack request to the white player to attack the blue player, to see if the white player could be exploited into over-attacking the blue player and giving me the game. The white player attacked the blue player quite a bit, but I still don't know if that's enough. So I think I will rather play safe and use the trapping strategy, staying still mutually beneficial to white while letting him even receive more of the continental troops due to Australia. But on the other hand, I was at 3 cards while the blue player had even 5 and the white player was only at 2, so maybe I should have gone for the blue player, but I think that would have still been risky, but please let me know. Anyway, so as you saw, the blue player made a very risky move of breaking through me. And the white player might have won, but with him having those armies split, he wasn't too suitable neither take me nor the blue player out without some sort of a bigger risk. So that's lucky. And then I was able to trade in a set and take Australia from white. The white player being fortunate to get a 10 troop set at 3 cards, luckily for us went to strengthen his borders instead of intending to take the blue player out, which would have won the game if he'd managed to get enough luck to do that successfully, but might have been risky. But either way, that being right or not, one thing is for sure, that having his troops split into multiple armies have really prevented him of getting a win, of taking the blue player out with all of his cards. So I think after all I and the blue player will make a comeback, then not sure what happens, but the situation will be equalized, and the white player won't be in a big advantage anymore. So I think maybe some sort of misplay might have been made by the white player. Everything looks pretty much balanced everywhere now, and with the blue player showing the initiative to seriously attack white, I will continue teaming up with him on white. but I will keep my 7 troops in North America so the blue player couldn't take very easily over it. I want to get the same number of troops as him, so I'm good with both of us having 2 troop continents, and while the blue player could expand to North America much easier, for me to capture Asia would be a really tough deal. I mean, not that I couldn't capture it, but that I wouldn't be able to successfully hold it, as the white player would be able to invade me easily. So now I'm continuing crushing white, being in a strong alliance with blue, as the white player doesn't like show me an initiative to trap the blue player in South America by additionally taking over Africa and then putting his biggest army to North Africa, so then I could take over Asia and then put my biggest army to either Kamchatka or Alaska to completely trap the blue player into Americas. And I mean, the white player has to show this initiative by himself, as otherwise if I capture Asia first putting my army to Alaska, then with it being immediately blue's turn, the blue player will realize what I want to do, so then he will get out of the trap. While if the white player captures Africa first putting his army to North Africa, then it will be my turn, so then I will be able to capture Asia without the blue player having the opportunity to break the trap before it was even made. Not sure here, but maybe I broke the balance of the game into the blue player's favor, or at least that was close. And it looked like the blue player wanted to go for it, but at the end he didn't. But not totally sure, maybe I would have still won in the 2-player endgame, so let me know. One thing for sure is that I cannot attack the white player anymore, so with that it makes me the most sense to attack blue. And I mean, the turn-wise it makes the most sense for me to focus on targeting the blue player more, as he is the player who has a turn after me. It's the best to focus on the player who has the turn after you, as that way that player still gets a turn to weaken the 3rd player for the balance of the game to be sustained, while if you weaken the player who has a turn before you, then it could be even possible that the 3rd player could immediately take him out without that player even having a turn to receive his continental and territorial troop bonuses, and might even trade in a set. So with me attacking the white player before, with him being the player before me, and with me doing that enthusiastically, that was really close of me to giving the game away to blue. So I think now I will try to get to my theory and much rather focus on attacking blue than white, and especially when the blue player is quite more experienced than the white player, meaning that it's much more likely for me to outsmart white than blue. Though the white player looks like he is more of a neutral side, to just take Africa from blue was more of a neutral move, and before that when I sent the attack request for white to attack blue, he responded with thumbs down. But actually probably it's the smartest for the white player to stay more on a neutral side, because it's just the best when 2 other players want to seriously attack each other, so in this case I really want to attack blue, while blue really wants to attack me. Or at least up until now, as the blue player re-offered to be in a strong alliance again by suggesting me to take South America from him by saying me to attack his territory if I need to. So I'm not sure how the game goes now, but I don't like my South American position too much, as after I get weaker the blue player could betray me, taking over both of the Americas with only 2 borders to guard, so I have to be very cautious about that. But I think as of now I will intend to team up with him on white. Though the white player showed me a serious initiative by taking Australia from blue, so at the end it was really up to me whom to be in a strong alliance with, but since I now started teaming up with blue, I think I will continue this way, so maybe unless the white player shows initiative to trap the blue player in some way. Last turn I specially fortified my army to another border of Africa so the white player could potentially go into North America, but the blue player smartly countered that by fortifying some troops on his Central American border. And now I fortified my army to Brazil, so the blue player couldn't take over South America. With the blue player noticing that I'm getting a bit stronger and with me really hating my position, as I think in the long term it favors blue if I make the things balanced, since the white player could always really retaliate to me when it comes to 5 troop continental troop bonuses, while it would be much harder for him to do that with blue. I thought that was really the moment to betray blue, as I don't think it would have been high chances to succeed in that position I was in. So now I will try to suggesting the white player to use the trapping strategy with me. though the white player seems to either not getting it, or not wanting to go with it, so let's encourage him one more time. The blue player could obviously break through both of us if I leave my Brazilian border unguarded, so, before the white player puts one of his armies on Ukraine, I have to guard the Brazilian border myself. Alright, that was close. I really thought that the blue player might break through me, wasting lots of troops again, but he stopped. Actually, the white player looks very strong now, so I think I will invade white into Australia while at the same time opening the way for the blue player towards white as well. I don't really think I can weaken blue, as it would really give away the game to white. Though the blue player still goes after me. And I think if the white player takes out the blue player now, then I think he might win the game. Though he would need to break through both of the Americas, which would be unlikely, so that's really unfortunate for white that two of his European armies are trapped. I'm wondering if I should take the blue player now. Probably not, as I have the worst set, so after I trade in a set from the blue player's cards, the next one would probably still be 4 troops, and looking to the troop counter, the white player is in the lead while being at 3 cards. So I decided that the best decision for me would be to invade the white player into Australia and Africa. The white player gets lucky to trade in a 10 troop set at 3 cards, and if he takes me out right now, then he wins the game. He has more troops than me and blue player combined, plus he would even get 5 cards from me, without even me needing to mention that most of the territories the white player will have to take are made of 1s. So I think the blue player shouldn't have really given him access towards South America from Africa. Luckily, the white player didn't see that he had a winning opportunity and didn't try taking me out. So there might be the time for me and blue to make another comeback and prevent the white player from winning. Very luckily, I've gotten a troop set at 3 cards, so now I can invade the white player into Europe, and then make the way for the blue player towards Australia. At the end of the turn, I decided to put my army rather to Brazil than to North Africa, so if the white player wants to take me out, then he would be only able to use one of his European armies on it instead of 2. As you can see, the blue player is manual rolling white, then unleashes my army towards him and then goes to invade white into Australia, and then captures as many territories as possible, wasting basically all of the troops when capturing Asia. The white player could have won if he had successfully taken out blue, but besides him not going for that opportunity, he also let the blue player hold Asia, which is super weird, as I mean, if he was afraid he would run short on the blue player's territories, then at the very least he could have still invaded blue into Asia, capturing 1 troop territory. So to still sustain his strong position, instead of letting us receive free troops, as I mean instead of capturing Europe, he could have invaded me to South America too. My border from North America was completely unguarded. The white player so luckily has a set at 3 cards, and I think it might be a GG for me if he actually intends to take me out. And yes, that's the game over for me. It would have been even if the white player failed, as in that case the blue player would have taken me out. Anyway, let's spectate and see who wins. Very unfortunately, the blue player didn't have a set at 4 cards, but while he couldn't do too much territorial damage to the white player, he was still able to break through all of the white player's continents. He traded in a 6 troop set at 5 cards, but with the white player being so much in the territorial advantage, nothing he could have done here. The white player took over the unstoppable advantage. Big congrats to the white player for winning his very first subscriber game. And now check out this another 4-player fixed card game in which I show multiple attempts to trap the Australian player in Asia.